Hello, hello, hello. I am Lady Renae Thomas James, and welcome back to my podcast, The Vineyard of Wellness. If you are watching on YouTube, hi, hello, how are you doing, darling? Welcome back, and thank you for watching. And if you are listening on wherever you listen to podcasts, your podcast, hi, hello, how are you doing? How have you been? Did you do your homework last week? Are we implementing routines, healthy routines and habits to make a better us? Are we doing that? So thanks again for joining me on the Vineyard of Wellness, the journey of being mentally, spiritually, and emotionally healthy and well. That was carefully thought out. It was. That is the tagline, and it was carefully thought out because we are on this journey to being or becoming rather our better selves or a better version of ourselves each day. I just strive to be better me than I was yesterday. Yesterday I was great. Today I want to be greater. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Yesterday I was amazing. Today I want to be even more amazing. So it's not that you are not a mentally well human being. We are striving to becoming and forever becoming a healthier version of who we were yesterday. So today we are talking about setting boundaries. Let me tell you something. This is near and dear to my heart because growing up, I used to hear that I give a lot of trouble. And becoming an adult is when I realized that it's not that I give a lot of trouble, it's that I had healthy boundaries even as a child. You couldn't speak to me a certain way. You couldn't handle me with disrespect. Yes, I don't take disrespect well. My husband and kids will tell you like disrespect, no. And I taught people how to treat me, and that meant it would be uncomfortable for them because I was a child, and even into adulthood, it meant it was so uncomfortable for them because they wanted to treat me how they wanted to treat me. I am not for that life. That's not why I am on this earth. I believe in healthy boundaries even before I knew what boundaries were. I believe that the way you speak to me, the way you handle me, it says a lot about me if I allow you to do so disrespectfully, without thought, without considering me and my feelings. I'm like, yeah, we're not for that. So the definition of boundaries: a boundary is an invisible line that defines what behaviors are acceptable for an individual. Boundaries can be physical, do not touch me, or you respect my space, right? Physical. Or it can be emotional, do not lie to me, or please treat me well. How to set healthy boundaries. Let us look at that, shall we? And if you're on YouTube, you will see me looking down. I'm looking at my notes. How to set healthy boundaries. First and foremost, become aware, become self-aware. Let us break that down. I've realized that most people are not aware of how they want to be treated because they are busy thinking about how they are making the next person feel if they should speak out. I hope you caught that. They are too busy worried about how the other person is going to feel, so they don't speak. So what you get is someone who allows someone to disrespect them, their space, their feelings, their emotions, because they are unable to speak and articulate how they want to be treated. They're not aware of even the things that they are wanting to tolerate. Or they know I don't want an ex person to treat me a certain way, but what if I say it and they get upset? Then they get upset. That's on them. So setting healthy boundaries means first figuring out who you are as an individual, the things that you will tolerate around you and that you won't. I can tell you, even in your personal relationships, you can have challenges in that area as well. Even in your marriage, there are certain things that I just don't tolerate. The person I was at 20, I found some things to be funny. At 40, I no longer find them to be funny. My husband sometimes has a problem with this, and that's okay. You can have a problem. It means that I'm just not finding those things funny anymore. I have grown, I have matured. So certain things are not funny anymore. It means then that certain conversations I will not indulge in, becoming self-aware. Secondly, be clear and straightforward about your standards, what you like and what you do not like. Do not be afraid to say, I don't want this for myself. If it's for you, then it's for you. As for me and my space, my home, my surroundings, I would rather not. Say it, mean it, be clear. Oftentimes people would say, if anything, there is no misunderstanding when I speak. I do not understand. But no, be clear about the things that you want and how you want to move and how you want people to move around you. Be ready to accept discomfort or be ready to accept pushback. When you implement boundaries, not everybody will like it or accept it, and that's okay. Not everyone will be welcoming. That's okay. Let me give you an example. I went to my mom's house for the holidays in December 2022. And I've noticed that everybody walks in with their shoes. I'm like, absolutely not. Because what happens is you come in from off the street with your shoes, then you bring that dirt in, and then mommy is going to have to be the one to sweep it out. So I'm like, mommy, why don't you tell them to leave the shoes at the doorway? Because Renae, they won't listen. I'm like, then they won't come in. But Renae, you can't say that. What do you mean I can't say that? I can. And for the 2 weeks that I was there, people didn't come in with their shoes because it was just not acceptable for me. I am going to have to be the one to sweep out the dirt and to wipe out the house every time someone visits, or I'm going to have to deal with a dirty house or dirty floors. I don't want to deal with dirty floors or a dirty house. It means then whoever is coming to visit me has to respect my home and the boundaries that I put in place. Remove your shoe before you enter my home, right? And even just saying that, she was afraid of, okay, but what will people say or think? That is what people say and think is really none of my business. Normalize teaching and encouraging people how to treat you. Normalize healthy boundaries. Normalize having a healthy relationship with the people you come across daily. If you have certain boundaries and they don't like it, they are not for it, too bad for them. And when you start implementing healthy boundaries, what will happen is people will respect you and your space. And for those who don't like it and they fall off, it means they were just not meant to be in your life anyway. It means that they they really have no bearing for a healthy relationship in your life anyway. So setting healthy boundaries can result in, and this is for you, good mental health, good emotional health for you, developed identity, a good sense of self. Let me tell you, you can and will develop a good sense of who you are, how you walk, how you speak, your confidence. You will also avoid burnout. Let me tell you something. For the time that I was in Jamaica, I was getting tired having to mop those floors. Every time someone comes in, I'm like, no, ma'am, no, ma'am. That's just leading me to burnout. Your influence, you will influence others' behaviors, right? What will happen is people will know how to behave around you, and or you can influence how they set boundaries for themselves as well, for a healthier them and a healthier relationship that they have with people. Don't be afraid of who will say what. For those who are not comfortable with it, they can go about their boundaryless lives. That's okay. And for those who are comfortable with it, can and will respect you and your boundaries and your space. I want to touch on a few types of boundaries. One, mental boundaries. Freedom to have your own thoughts, values, and opinions. Too often is everyone else having something to say about what we should think or feel, what our opinions should be. I oftentimes talk to my friend, and I'm like, you know what, Jordan? This is not for me. However, if it's for you, fine. And I don't try to call down on her or push on her my thoughts or opinions. And when I catch myself doing it, if I do it, I catch myself, my apologies, Jody. I should not have. Normalize allowing people to have their own thoughts, values, and opinion. Emotional boundaries. How available you are emotionally for others and the capacity that you have, the emotional capacity that you have to deal with a thing. It could be anything. It could be a conversation. Sometimes, quite frankly, I just don't have the capacity to handle certain conversations. I can't do it right now, or I can't take this call or reply to this text immediately. Emotionally, I'm not capable of doing that right now. Even when you're having conversations with your spouses, your children, good friends, relatives, you may, if you don't have the emotional capability to handle that conversation, you may have to reconvene. Write down where you are, write down your points, and reconvene. That's okay. Physical boundaries. Protecting your personal and physical space. Say it, protecting your personal and physical space. Too often do we allow people to disrespect our personal and physical space. You come to my home and you want to treat my home the same way you treat yours. No, what if you're not respectful to your own home? You're going to have to respect mine. You're going to have to see and realize that I keep my space clean. Leave your shoes at the door. If you wear socks, amazing. But please do not walk through my house with your shoes. Boundary of time. Respecting how much time you can spend with someone or doing something, or even meeting a person on time. I respect people's time. I respect it. And I also respect how much time I'm able to give another person, right? I cannot be on the phone every day, all day for a few hours just chatting. That is not me. That is not me. The only person who gets that from me is my mother and my best friend. And that's not every day. That's catching up. I can't be on the phone just doing what? Nothing. Oh, looking at you, you're looking at me. Oh my God. That bugs me. Respect your time. Respect other people's time. Find the time to do something productive, something fruitful, or be bored by yourself. Learn yourself, right? So this week's homework is this. I want you to ask yourself, am I creating healthy boundaries in my life? Ask yourself, am I creating healthy boundaries in my life? And if that answer is no, ask yourself this, how can I create healthy boundaries in my life? Starting with your mental spiritual, and emotional being. Thank you for listening. This is Lady Renae Thomas James, and my podcast is The Vineyard of Wellness. Thank you for tuning in, and wherever you listen to your podcast, I'll be here next week waiting for you. Remember your homework, and if you are on Instagram, feel free to follow me on Lady.Renae Thomas James, or follow me over on YouTube at Lady Renae Thomas James. Let me know in the comments, if you're the type of person that you have healthy boundaries, or will you be implementing healthy boundaries? Also, feel free to leave a rating. If you're seeing somewhere to leave a rating and let us know if this is beneficial to you. Thank you, and have a beautiful day, evening, or night whenever you're listening to it. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.